Hi there, VC. It's Steve Whitty here. It's Saturday, the 3rd of June, and the sun is shining. I've just come back in from been out all day, and this video is going to be Vinyl Finds Volume 58. Now, before we go on, again, I'm happy to report an increase in subscriber numbers, now standing at 73. Only two I know the names of, so a big shout out to Asmil Othman and Machego1970 for subscribing. So big shout out to them, and big thank you as well. So as I said, this is volume 58 of recent finds, and as I said, that sun's just gone in, so it's something gone darker in the room. And these are records. All these records have something in common. They're from my local record shop, Cyclotron Records, and they've all cost me £1. And I've been purchasing quite a lot of records recently for £1 from the pound bin, and that's basically because Pete, who owns Cyclotron Records, he recently bought a big haul of records in Wales. You know, basically, this person got in touch with him. This woman got in touch with him. Husband had aspirations to be a dealer, and he passed away. And she's been trying to sell these records on Amazon. And the rough estimate was it was about 40,000 records. By the time he got down there, it was a whole lot more. There was 3 containers worth of records. Now, a lot of these records were junk. In his word, junk. There were a lot of singles, whatever. But he salvaged what he can, and he's, I won't tell you how much he paid, but I know he paid quite a hefty amount, and he's hopeful he'll get that money back. But he reckons there was more like these 70,000 records, which he left about 50,000 there. And he basically says, I've paid for them, but I'll leave them there and you can do what you want with them. So these records, what I've been showing recently, has come from that haul where it's been in the pound bins, and this lot all cost me £1. So first up, Dexys Midnight Runners 2 This is in absolutely excellent condition. It's a promotional copy, not for sale, and that really is an excellent nick. What can I say about this album? The big album for Dexys. It was a big thing in 1982. Come On Eileen was the biggest selling single. It seemed to be #1 in the UK for the whole of the summer. I think it was Eye of the Tiger by Survivor that knocked it off, #1. And it was #1 in the States as well. You've got on here the Celtic Soul Brothers, Let's Make It Precious. Jackie Wilson Says, which for our American viewers, created one of the biggest faux pas in Top of the Pops' history. Now, Top of the Pops decided Jackie Wilson, it says, it's a song about Jackie Wilson, soul singer, Van Morrison song. Unfortunately, Top of the Pops decided to show a picture of Scottish darts thrower Jockey Wilson, who happened to be the world darts champion at that time. Absolutely amazing faux pas. You also got Plan B, Lies A to E, I Share, Until I Believe in My Soul, and then Come On Eileen's the last track on the album. Kevin Rowland, I could certainly say, lived the part. I remember walking down New Street in Birmingham, chatting to this person I was working with at the time, and I walked past this tramp, and it was only when this kid ran past me and kept shouting, "Come on, Eileen! Come on, Eileen!" Then he turned around and this guy stopped and signed the autograph. It was Kevin Rowland. He did go out dressed like this in his normal day clothes at that time. You think, crikey. Oh well. Next album. This is Hazel OConnor. This is Cover Plus. And this is an album that came out in, I believe, 1981. Um, she just coming off really at the back of Breaking Glass. It was sort of second album. She released quite quickly. It was on the released on the Albin record label. And you've got here Cover Plus, We're All Grown Up. That was a single. She also released an excellent version of Stranglers Hanging Around. It managed to keep that sleaze that's about that single on there. Not as good as, say, Breaking Glass, and I'm trying to think what the previous album was called. She did release another album, and I can't remember it for the life of me, and I haven't seen the copy of it to be able to tell. But it's a good album. But really, from that point, Hazel OConnor's career sort of went downhill a little bit, and she sort of disappeared off the radar. I think she became an actress for a while. She has toured with Hugh Cornwall recently. I don't know how that went. Now, this next album, it's one artist that you think you're never going to see in vinyl because it's a 70s artist, and I don't even see him in the wild, even at the expensive. So to find this in the pound bin, the sensational Alex Harvey Band, and this is The Impossible Dream. And the reason it's in the pound bin because there is some water damage on the cover. Obviously, these records had been stored, been untouched for a couple of years in this container, and there's bound to be some damage on some of them. But to find this in the pound bin, it's sensational Alex Harvey Band, and it's in good condition, the vinyl, on the Vertigo label, the Starship label. And you've got Hot City Symphony Part 1 Vambo, Sergeant Fury's on here, and Anthem, which, it's just, to see this. And I say, I have never seen any Alex Harvey floating around at all, so to be able to pick that up, it's absolutely brilliant. Found this, Shaman, Bostrom. This is their big album from 1992, the Dance Rave. You've got Ebenezer Good, which is the big single. LSI, Love, Sex, Intelligence. Bostrom, the title track. They were started out as an indie band, but sort of picked up on the burgeoning rave culture. Had a bit of tragedy when one of their members at Wilson had drowned in 1991, and then had a big hit single with Move Any Mountain, and then it suddenly moved into the rave. They recruited this guy called Mr. C, sort of like rapper type thing, and it was product of its time, and they sort of disappeared there afterwards. Reissue Wednesday morning, 3 a.m. Simon and Garfunkel, like the first big album. Let me just quickly show you. Until it's a reissue, you've got even though it's on the orange CBS. This wasn't initially very successful in the UK. I think it came out about 68 again, and I think this is when this copy stems from. You got Sound of Silence, the original version of it. Last Night I Had a Strangest Dream. Their version of Times Are Changing. Wednesday Morning 3 a.m. He Was My Brother. Some great tracks on here. Good little solid debut album that foretold things to come. Another album, again for £1, Mama Button Jaquan from Cat Stevens. Sort of like his rebirth as the singer-songwriter with the guitar. You've got Lady de Vanville, which was the hit single from the album. Maybe You're Right, Pop Star, I Think I See the Light, Trouble, Mama Bone Jack On, I Wish I Wish, Kathmandu, Time, Fill My Eyes, Lily White. Again, so it marked a change in direction from more introspective, and as it turned out, forever searching. I think Cat Stevens was searching for something, and I think he finally found it when his conversion to Islam. I was playing this last night. If those who follow me on Facebook will know, Thin Lizzy Live and Dangerous. To find this for £1, and it plays well. I think the reason it went for £1 is I've got some love messages on the cover. I don't know if you can see that. To die, my love forever. To die, all my love, douche. So I hope she was worth it, die. It's probably Lizzy's best album, actually. You've got Phil Lynott Strider at the front. This was originally going to be the back cover, but the manager changed it right at the last minute without telling the rest of the band. Lynott knew, and he went for it. But yeah, this is just a great album. It's quite actually a bit moot about how much overdubs was done. Tony Visconti, the producer, claimed 75% of the album was overdubs. It was only really the crowd and the drums that's still the original from the recordings. Members of the band, Brian Robertson, vehemently denies this because says, "How can it be?" Yes, there were overdubs, but weren't that to that extent. It was recorded at Hammersmith Odeon, also in Toronto and also in Philadelphia. So, you know, essential, like one of the great live albums all time, despite all the overdubs. You know, you believe what you want to believe on that one. The band I was not really familiar. I knew the name, Three Dog Night. And this is their album, It Ain't Easy. You've got here probably the main song that you know is the opening track. It's Mama Told Me Not to Come. You'll know that more from the Stereophonics with Tom Jones covering it. But you've got here It Ain't Easy. They do a blinding cover of Free's Woman, which is quite amazing. Your Song, Cowboy, Rock and Roll Widow, Out of the Country, Good Time, That Being Good Feeling, 1957. It's very much. They weren't a band that wrote their own stuff. It seemed that they covered more than anything. I'd be intrigued to find some more, but again, yeah, beggars can't be choosers for £1. Terribly water damaged, but this is Suzanne Vega, Solitude. Hang on, Solitude Standing. Water damage has taken the title away. Big album for a second album. Tom's Diner, Luca, the two big tracks. And Tom's Diner was remixed, and it became a number one single for her. Yeah, what can I say? Just excellent record. I believe she's touring this in the autumn, playing all the tracks on this album. And I think the third album, I think it's something like 99 degrees. Sort of lost track with her a little bit after that, but yeah, really good album. I was pleased. Plays beautifully as well. In fact, all of these plays beautifully. I couldn't complain about the quality of the recordings. Found this lurking in the Shamans album, and this actually cost me nothing. And say lied when it cost me £1. This is Yellow and Yellow Flag, and this is the album that's got the race on it. Yes, you can see some scratches on there because of lack of cover, sort of like in the wall. But it plays. It doesn't jump or skip or anything like that. It plays. So I was well pleased to have that album in my collection. And then finally, a bit of Atlantic soul ballads. You've got here Otis Redding, Torre, Little Tenderness, Aretha Franklin, Say a Little Prayer, Drifter, Say the Last Dance for Me, Wilson Pickett, I'm in Love, Percy Sledge, Warmer, Tender Love, Clarence Carter, Patches, The Persuaders, Thin Line Between Love and Hate, Benny King, Spanish Harlem, Sam and Dave, When Something Is Wrong with My Baby, Otis Redding's My Girl, Major Harris, Love Won't Let Me Wait, The Drifters on Broadway, Barbara Lewis, Baby I'm Yours, Solomon Burke, Got to Get You Off My Mind, Brooke Benton's Radio Night in Georgia, and Wilson Pickett's version of Hey Jude. It cost only 50p at the time. It cost me £1, so that's inflation for you. Essential album, great album. So that's all my recent finds, and yes, that's all cost me £1 each. So apart from the Yellow, which was lurking in somebody else, another record. So VC, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. I'm off to watch the Champions League. So until the next video, take care.